Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boss Rush Podcast, a great place to play games and be better. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deering, and alongside me, as always, is the PC muscle race himself, LeRon Dawkins.
Hey, everybody. What's poppin'?
Also joining us is the mad pharmacist herself, Stephanie Klimov.
Hi, I'm doing my happy dance.
I know. I have never seen her so happy since maybe the first episode of this show.
I know. She's like giddy. Like what is this?
You know what it is. We have a special guest tonight. Special guest. He is a fellow podcaster and YouTuber, Daniel Colonna.
Yes. Oh, that's my full name.
I did. I mean,
I feel like I'm in trouble now.
I would have used your middle name. I would have used your middle name, but I don't know it. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you guys for having me on. This is exciting for me.
This is exciting for us. It's super exciting for Stephanie.
The air is buzzing around us, I feel.
Should I change Stephanie's contrast to make her look like she's just blushing all over, or is it just...
Do the little anime blush lines?
Yeah.
You guys we should all have those, actually.
Well, why don't you tell us about yourself and what you do before we kind of dive into whatever we're going to talk about tonight?
Okay. Most notably, I make a podcast with two of my friends, Mark and Dave, where we talk about indie games that literally catalyzed because we were playing too many AAA titles a lot. And we were like, we should stop and play games that are more fun, maybe less pressure. And then we were like, we should record this experience. And I think we just agreed to a podcast. And
that's usually how they start.
Yeah, it was like
that really is the experience.
It is. It's like we should save this conversation. And when I'm not doing that, I make YouTube videos, and that's on my YouTube channel. And that's just where I go to literally wax poetic about video games. Sometimes I'll defend a game that does terribly in reviews. I'm like, well, I might do Babylon's Fall. That might be a challenge. Or like, oh, this game got totally crapped on. But it's got a controller function, and that's sort of. I try to find some redeeming quality, so that's something. That's what I do. But it's all video games. It's just if you unplug it, I literally vanish.
Oh, wow!
Well,
don't unplug.
Don't.
I would like to add to this to give some perspective as to how Dan got onto this show,
and so Stephanie can fangirl out apparently.
Mm-hmm.
No. It's a funny story, Dan. You can agree because I swear I heard about Dinosaur Machines through Boss Rush because Celeste, who is on Boss Rush, do these 1v1s. Mm-hmm. I swear that's where I heard it. She did a 1v1 with someone from Dinosaur Machines. It just that for whatever reason that popped into my head, and that's how I found them. And I started listening to them, and you, Dan, Dave, Mark, so funny. I laugh literally out loud every time I listen. I love you guys. Next to Boss Rush and Left Behind Game Club, you're like my top 3 gaming podcasts. So
that's really awesome.
And I do mean it, and that's why I wanted to reach out. Hopefully we can get the other guys on at some point. But the ironic and funny part is when I reached out to you, Dan, you're like, we never interviewed with you guys.
I think I figured it out. You mentioned the other two. Do you know anybody from Left Behind? Because I was on that podcast. That's like one of the only other podcasts I've done a guest spot on.
Left Behind Game Club?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Then that might be it. Because I'm like, you're like, no, we've never interviewed with a Celeste, but we played Celeste.
That's what I was like. I was like, we talk about the game? You're like, no, there's a person. I was like, oh, that's different.
No, it's a person.
So maybe that's it. Do you remember what game you guys talked about with Left Behind?
Yeah. Oh my God, if it was Celeste. No, it was. No, I don't. And I don't want to spend time.
No, it's all right. Put you on the spot.
I'll find it while we talk. And then maybe if it comes up later.
So that's why I'm very excited that Dan's here, that I didn't totally scare him off with me foaming at the mouth, being like, I heard you in an interview.
You almost scared me off.
It was flattering. I was like, uh-oh, who is this person? I don't know. And I was like, wait, they know the podcast. Somebody listens to the podcast? They want me on their show? Yeah, this all sounds great. It was literally my thought process, so we're good.
Isn't that always weird when somebody reaches out to you and you realize that people actually listen to the stuff that you put out?
Scary moment.
Yeah.
You're like, what did I say?
You're like,
oh no.
Oh, there's actually people we actually put this out to the world that people to listen to.
Yep, you forget about that half of it, and then it's exciting when it comes full circle because then I get to have a cool evening with some cool individuals like yourselves.
Well, so. I mean that's nice, but you've only been here for about 15 minutes.
I know. It's true. I guess anything could happen.
All right, LeRon, what did you want to complain about now? Before we started,
about something.
When I said stop, so we can talk about it on the podcast.
I really don't remember what I was even going to talk about that now. I don't. And I'm pretty sure I wasn't about to complain about something either.
Oh well, okay. Well,
Was it Kirby?
It might have been Kirby. We started down
Kirby.
that.
No, it had nothing to do with Kirby. I know that. Like you guys are gushing about Kirby, and I'm not sold on it.
I said something about the comments we got on PAL Block. Then we started talking about Kirby, and you were going to say something else.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a complaint. It actually, what I was going to say is, I was like, Corey, like your type of discourse doesn't always work on PAL Block the way it does on Crossroads, because Corey comes to Crossroads and he might not bring the conversation, but he keeps the conversation going, and the contrast of opinions and stuff like that. Sometimes he contrasts, differently with everybody else on the show, and other times like he completely gels with everybody. And I swear, like going back and when I have to edit those episodes and get them ready to go on live for our YouTube and stuff like that, man, just doing the edits and listening to it all, man, it's fucking phenomenal. Like and the sad part is Corey is part of the network. He's not even like
somebody get a rope tied around his feet, because if his nose gets any browner, we're gonna have to pull him out.
Okay, you know what?
I'm just kidding, LeRon.
You know what? Go back to your
some nice compliments.
Go back to your little Nintendo podcast, man.
I did go back, and it's been fun.
Stay there. Except
until you don't like Kirby.
Until you got the negative comment.
Yeah, until I don't like Kirby. I'm sorry, guys. Too busy playing cool games like Triangle Strategy and Destiny. Okay.
Did you tell them how you feel about Pokemon?
We haven't gotten there yet.
Legends? Yeah.
I got to the town and I was like, there is a lot of tedious things in here. I want to go shoot stuff. So I turned it off and went and played
Shoot
Destiny.
Pokeballs. Yeah.
You shoot them.
The
Pokemon are then yours.
It's very satisfying when you throw it at their back and it goes.
I will get there at some point, maybe over the summer. I'm playing 3 huge RPGs right now. Mm-hmm. So I'm playing.
Okay.
Like I'm playing Destiny, obviously, and that game never ends. I'm playing Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, and I'm playing Triangle Strategy.
Wow, that's a full plate.
Yeah,
I gotta get Triangle Strategy. And can I talk about how broken my heart is right now about the damn Advance Wars news?
Okay,
well,
it's almost like they don't want me to play this fucking game. And you know what? So just a disclaimer, so I don't sound like some crass asshole. I understand the reason for why. It's there, but they should have released the goddamn game in December of last year, like they said they were going to do.
Well, it wasn't done.
You know what? Hey, that's on them. They said coming in December. Mm. And then they pushed it back. They pushed it back to February. So I jump on the eShop to like in January to like pre-order it, and it's not available for pre-order just yet. And on the eShop, it had a new date of releasing in May, mm-hmm. and then they moved it up. Then they moved it up to April. Mm-hmm. And now they're like just like, oh, you know what? We don't know when it's coming.
And now they're like, you know what? Nobody really wants Advance Wars, so we're canceling it.
Good. I hope they do that.
I love Advance Wars, and I had that moment with that news where I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Okay, I totally get it.
Yeah, I get it too. But I'm like, God damn it!
No, the only classic games anybody cares about was announced today during the PlayStation State of Play. Okay.
You know what?
Dino Crisis?
Nintendo.
No. Not you mean the game that's not Dino Crisis? That's from Capcom.
Everyone thought that was Dino Crisis, including some of my friends. Mark was like, "Oh my god, it's Dino."
I thought it was Dino Crisis.
You had a chick with red hair in a game where they were fucking up dinosaurs. Mm-hmm. Everyone just knew.
Boxes were being checked in front of all of our faces.
Remember the one on the original Xbox where they went to space?
Yeah.
Well, oh my gosh. Yeah. That's where Jurassic Park's headed next, space. Those movies are so bad, except for the first one.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I mean, like if you guys want to call me an asshole about that, I deserve it. But I mean, like it's the only game on the Switch I was looking forward to coming out to this year after Triangle Strategy. It was the only other game on the Switch. Like I guarantee you, the fucking Mario games would be delayed.
No, they can't afford to do that. They also can't afford to say they can't afford to say a bad date for Mario games either. They'll just sort of like not tell us a date until like a week before it comes out.
They'll just edge everybody by saying coming soon.
Yep.
Look,
there will be a Mario in 2022.
Shane's got it right in the chat. Turtles is all that matters. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good call.
13.
That's gonna be
I'll be honest with you. Like out of everything I saw in the state of play today, like the Turtles one, actually Turtles one, and that game, it mysteriously looks like it could be the successor to Final Fantasy Tactics. You know, like
Deo Reru or whatever it's
yeah,
called.
Yeah, that game. Yeah.
Deo Field Chronicle.
Looks like it's like a spiritual successor of Final Fantasy Tactics, of it being called Final Fantasy Tactics.
It said, the one of the headlines revealed today was Sony shows off not Dino Crisis and not Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they added Returnal co-op, I heard.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they did. But they also revealed a new Valkyrie game.
Yeah.
Anybody play Valkyrie Profile?
The Dashy game? The one where you're like dashing everywhere?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, I'm thinking of Vanquish. But I still somehow got it right.
No, Valkyrie Profile, the PS1 kind of combo-based RPG where like all the face buttons are a different character and they all do different combos and stuff.
Isn't that Genshin Impact?
No.
Sorry.
I don't know. I haven't played that. I haven't played Genshin Impact, so I don't know.
In Genshin, you change between characters, like in between combos.
That's
probably ripped off of this game, it sounds like.
Probably. It was good. It's also worth a lot of money if you have it. And I sold it before the pandemic for like $200, and now it's worth like more than that.
I had a copy of Panzer Dragoon Saga on the Sega Saturn.
Woo!
And it was worth a bunch of money when I sold it. It's worth a bunch more money now. And I regret selling it because it's a great game. It's a great game.
Don't worry, someone will screw up a remake sometime down the road, and you'll be able to cry.
I really want to see like smoothed out polygons stretched out beyond their limits just to play that game once more.
It's funny too, because I know like the Panzer Dragoon remake did decently well. So like, what's going on? Like, go ahead and give us Panzer Dragoon 2, and then give us a Zelda Panzer Dragoon Saga. Come
on. That's where I was at. I was like, all right, sell. Like, as if I'm some kind of stockbroker, just yelling sell at my TV. All this game's being announced. Like, okay. And then
fine.
We'll see how it goes.
Let's see. Oh my gosh, our Twitch is so messed up. It has all the old logos still. Why didn't anybody tell me this?
I was going to tell you, but I didn't want to embarrass you.
No, it's okay. Thank you.
I couldn't.
I'm already embarrassed. Anyways, can we just talk about Turtles for like 5 seconds? Like, the Hyperstone Heist is on here. That was a game I thought I was never going to play again, ever.
No. They heard you complain and yell and scream and shout so much about how you would never get to play Turtles in Time again, ever, you know, in any format, that they're like, this one's for Corey Derrick, even though we can't.
It should be called the Corey Derrick collection, because this is my collection.
Exactly. You know, like, I mean, like, it's damn near every damn Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game that, you know.
It is. It literally is every single Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game.
When was this announced?
It's every single one? Today at
the State of Play.
I feel like they're missing something. They're not missing
Nope, they have both
arcade games there.
They have both arcade games. They have all 3 NES games. They have the bad NES fighting game. They have the 2 Super Nintendo games, the 2 Genesis games, and all 3 Game Boy games.
Wow.
This is coming to the Switch, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
That's not the place I'm buying this.
Yeah. They also have online functionality for 4 or 5 of the games, I think. So,
if you were to choose a Ninja Turtle, each of you,
Donatello,
B.
Raphael.
Okay, so between you two is Raphael. Okay.
Donatello.
I love Donatello as well, so we have a 2 Turtle podcast.
We do.
Podcast right now. That's interesting.
Mostly because Donatello has the best range.
I like his purple bandana.
Yeah.
That's true, but Raphael has the best takedowns.
Yeah, both verbal takedowns and physical ones as well, because he's talking smack during every fight.
Also, Casey Jones slipped him over into a trash can in that first movie. Okay, and he just looked silly.
He really did get one over on him there, huh?
He did. We're getting 2 Turtles games this year, guys. Woo.
Yeah,
Turtles Rise Up.
Yeah, no. In all seriousness, though, I am still very amped for Shredder's Revenge.
I am
still
too.
very amped for that.
Where is the Casey Jones reveal that he's the playable character?
Exactly. Like, what the fuck is going on with that?
If I can play as
they had April 1st.
If I can play as Splinter in
April
April,
1st.
I better be able to play as Casey Jones, guys. Come on.
See, this is how they could have trolled us. They could have revealed Casey Jones like before they revealed April O'Neil, and then on April 1st reveal April O'Neil, and they're like, are we being trolled right now? What's happening here?
Nobody would believe them.
Yeah. So
they messed up good PR right there.
they did.
That's pretty smart, honestly.
Yeah.
But man, this trailer for this, I've watched it like 6 times since we've been sitting here.
God.
So I'm gonna
That's
stop.
how I was with the Kenobi trailer earlier.
Which I haven't seen that yet.
I won't spoil it. He's Obi-Wan Kenobi's in it. That's the big spoiler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that show is going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's good.
Lots of Jedi Fallen Order stuff in it. Did you guys play that?
I think it will be good.
Yeah, I did play Jedi Fallen Order. It's a great game.
They confirmed that that's the same place that the game ends. You see the big Sith fortress, and it's like that's the same one. Like Star Wars confirmed it.
Cool.
I was like, all right, yep.
Cool. Maybe we'll see Cal Kestis.
He's cast, ready to go.
Yeah.
They teased the BDO dude, robot thing in the Boba Fett show.
They did.
Lots of Star Wars stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's true. It's true. All right. Well, we actually have housekeeping that I would like to get to. So
let's keep house.
We did a little bit on Pow Block last night after we wrapped, but should do it here since this is the flagship show.
I'm excited to be here for it.
Good. I hope you are, because you're in for.
Am I getting kicked off the podcast already?
Wow, you're like really drumming up the suspense here. I'm getting anxiety.
No. Okay, so a lot of people know that, or maybe have noticed, or maybe have not noticed. I don't know. Judging by the numbers of the show, maybe of you maybe not have noticed. But we have put Arsenal X on hiatus. We are trying to focus on a 3-pillar show, or a 3-pillar primary show network with Boss Rush Podcast, Nintendo Pow Block, and Crossroads. And then each of those shows are going to have the supplemental shows, right? Obviously, this show has After Dark and Standard Definition. Pow Block's going to have Expansion Pass, which Ed and I are trying to figure out what direction to go with that in a more kind of, I don't know, planned direction instead of just hanging out on Thursday nights and talking about a bunch of crap. And then, LeRon, you said you were working on Crossroads Plus.
Yes.
So that's where we're going with that. 1v1 and Talk the Walk will just be released as we have them, and we will update you on how Patreon's going to work in the near future. Also, by the way, next week is, if you're listening on Monday, this week is Boss Rush Spring Break. Sorry, I had to think about what we were calling it. So there will be no live shows next week. There may be content floating out there, but nothing regular until the following week. So there you go. Housekeeping. Very informal.
We'll all be imagining that we're in Cancun, but really not.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure if that's what it was. Like a live show from a beachy location where y'all are in like the pool and your little inner tubes wearing awesome outfits.
Well, someday we'd like to get a Boss Rush meetup at some point. We are trying to work on one in the fall, maybe, and we're narrowing it down. In one place is NOLA. I would love to go to New Orleans and visit Celeste and everybody. So
yeah.
Have you guys ever recorded a live? And when I say live, I mean together in the same room episode.
No.
Mark, Dave, and I have lived pretty close in proximity for the whole of the podcast, and we've never done one either.
For real?
For real.
Ed and I did a couple live Nintendo Pow Block episodes together a long time ago, and then one of the groups I used to be a part of, that's all we did was live episodes. But yeah, I mean, none of us really live close enough together to really do that. So Ed just came to visit me, so we did it.
We're going to PAX East together, and we're going to be staying somewhere for a night. So I think that's the night. We will.
PAX East is fun. You're gonna have fun.
PAX East, isn't it in Boston?
I've gone to a few. I went to the flagship PAX,
oh boy.
PAX East. That's right. Oh yeah, it's the only con.
Stephanie's like, open.
I love
open
Texas.
for
It's a great
business.
Have you've gone?
No, I live right outside of Boston. So
Oh.
I'm like,
You should go,
yes.
and then we can hang. We can get some
Yay!
like nerd coffee and be like, hey, remember the time we did a podcast? Like, totally, man. Cheers, and the coffee goes everywhere, and then we burn our hands.
Yep, sounds good.
I played Shovel Knight King of Cards before it was announced at PAX.
Nice. I did not. That was the. Nope. That's the puzzle game. It's called Shovel Knight Puzzle something or other, right?
Puzzle
Pocket
Shuffle
Dungeon?
Pocket Dungeon. Yeah,
Pocket
that
You
one.
guys are all, yeah, that's it. That's the one that I played, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. Look at this game. But
I just want Shovel
Their
Knight
games are all
2,
good.
Yacht Club. Okay, look, I get it. Mina the Hollower is a cute little mouse
yeah.
game. Okay,
I backed the hell out of that game.
I'm very much looking forward to that. But come on, remember when Shovel Knight was announced, guys, and you said we want to do a NES version, and then we want to do a Super Nintendo, and then a Nintendo 64. Wouldn't that be fun? Ha ha ha.
Did they do that? They said they wanted to
Yeah,
they wanted to work their way through
Yeah.
the generations of They should have started at Atari then.
they said
Heck, Commodore 64. Go even further
they said they
back.
wanted to do Super Shovel Knight and Shovel Knight 64 when they God, I wish I could find that interview.
Lied.
I'm not lying. Shovel Knight 64
No, not
is
you.
a
They
thing.
did.
Oh yeah.
I would never call you a lie to your face.
I mean, you can if you want. You wouldn't,
No,
you wouldn't be the first person.
No, that just sounds rude. Imagine the first time I'm on, I'm like, man, I just berate you all and then leave. And that would Steph would be like, well, he's different on his podcast.
Not what I was expecting.
Oh. Man, Stephanie, you're fired. Anyways. We'll now fill your spot with Ed.
But can I still be on standard def?
We'll see. We'll talk about it.
All of your shows have great names.
I think
Ours
so.
was like, it was created from like, I think Dave was on a weird tangent about putting the word machine at the end of words.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day he was like, Dinosaur Machine. I'm like, what's that? And he was like, I don't know. And then like months later, we were trying to name the podcast, and he was like, let's call it Dinosaur Machines. And I was like, I have nothing better. That's a
cool name, though.
It's fun to say.
It's like a cooler version of Robot Chicken.
That's high praise.
I mean, look how
I've
successful
always
they are.
wondered about the origin, and it's all just a random scrambling of words. Look at that.
We then reverse engineered it, but we're like, well, we're kind of old and we like video games, so like we're dinosaurs and they're machines. Yeah, but I think the logo, our buddy Will Pope made the logo, and that was like, okay, we have to be Dinosaur Machines now, because I was trying to do it, did not work as well as it wound up with Pope's logo. So
I would like to get like professional logos made of all of our shows. I mean, I like them, but they also look like they should be on some old middle school failed football coach's polo shirt. You know, I mean...
So the football coach failed in the NFL, and then he failed middle school coaching.
He's just a failure. He's
it.
He's like the gym teacher that sits in the corner while everybody just kind of like sits on the bench or plays basketball or beats each other up. I don't know.
While they look at the picture of the trophy that they didn't win.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Yep. So, I don't know. I would like to have that done, but also I'm really picky and I don't really want to pay for it. So, middle school football logos it is.
There's a charm to that. So I've been playing Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And it catalyzed my I was instructed to bring a topic this evening.
Were.
And I now have a question for each of you.
Okay.
And you can answer in whatever order I guess makes the most sense. What is your favorite difficult gaming victory moment in your life that you think back to? You're like, man, I did that. It wasn't easy, wasn't great. It could be also something ridiculous, like when you were 5 years old and killed a Goomba for the first time, but you felt that rush of serotonin.
Honestly, beating when we did a flawless run of the hard difficulty of King's Fall.
Oh, dude, no wonder you don't play so much Destiny. Is like, time aside, that would be it for me. I'm like, that's it.
It was awesome.
Did you get anything at the time? Was
I
there an
got the
emblem?
flawless achievement or trophy, I guess, because we were playing on PlayStation at the time. But
damn, dude, good job.
I mean, that's when I was like part of like a raid team where we literally raided 3 to 5 times a week just to like do it. We had Kings Fall down to like under 40 minutes.
Wow.
We were in and out in 40 minutes.
You just waxed it. That's completely ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, it was so
That's
fun.
pretty good.
That was like the pinnacle of Destiny, and I was like, you know what, I'm done. But
a lot of people feel that way too. A lot of people do have that sentiment about it, which I'm totally fair.
Don't worry, my time wasted in Destiny is way. Just, I wonder what it is. We were talking about that earlier. I asked LeRon if there was a time wasted in Monster Hunter. Time wasted on Destiny. Is
this a Google, like one of those big stat things?
It's a website called wastedondestiny.com, and you just enter in your
oh no,
your Bungie name or your Xbox name. Let's see. How many hours do you think you put into Monster Hunter there, LeRon?
What, Rise currently or
and all together?
Corey,
like thousands of hours.
I played every fucking Monster Hunter game.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh, I don't like myself at all right now.
I've played every Monster Hunter game. Okay, so Monster Hunter 1, 2004. I ran that game until it was all 9s, and the timer stopped moving. So that's over. That's at least 1,000 hours right there. Monster Hunter 2, which was an import game, it never released over here in the States. Not the original version of Monster Hunter 2. Played that for probably like 200 hours. And that's because there was a language barrier, and I was a stubborn bastard. So I partially learned how to read kanji and what's the other like letter style for over in Japan. I partially learned that for a little while.
Kanji?
At least, yeah, I partially learned that for a little while. I was just recognizing stuff. I would kill a monster. I would kill so many of the monsters that I recognized when like something was a common part and when something was like a high level part.
That's awesome.
Like a plate or a ruby or something. I got that. Then because Monster Hunter did not do so well in the States, they re-released the first one on PSP. I imported that one, played that for about 400 hours before the US release came out, and then played that one for another. I know I at least doubled my time on that one until Monster Hunter 2 came out, and yeah, like it's. I would probably say. If we look at the entire 17, 18-year history of Monster Hunter, I probably put a good like 10 to 20,000 hours into the franchise.
Wow.
Because I'm one of those people like the game is fun for there's only been 2 Monster Hunter games that have been not fun for me. one was Monster Hunter 3 on the Wii, which I think I played maybe about. I know I played under 200 hours of that. You know, once I realized that there was just not enough going on in that game to keep me in there, like I kind of put that one down fast. And then the other one that was not fun for me was Monster Hunter Rise on the Switch, and that's because like Capcom won't admit it, but they fumbled that release. They fumbled the launch of that game.
Interesting.
Yeah. So like I turned my Switch on a couple of weeks ago and was like, whoa, I only played 64 hours worth of this game? And shoot, my time stats on Rise on the PC though are just up there. I think I don't quote me on this, but I know it's over 200 hours right now. I have to check.
Wow.
Yeah. But no, I put a ton of hours because there's import games that never actually made it to the States. Like there's Monster Hunter Portable Third, which was like the game that came out after the Wii version came out, but it was on the PSP, and it was a completely different game from that. I played that one to death until 3 Ultimate came out, and I know I played 3 Ultimate. Like if I don't have my 3DS like anywhere, and I'm pretty sure it's not charged, I could turn that one on. It probably has like 700 plus hours on that. Like I run Monster Hunter games to death.
That's great.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's funny because like people were like, why don't you just like create a channel for that stuff? And now I have YouTube and Twitch, and I barely play Monster Hunter on those.
Maybe you should start playing more, LeRon. Maybe you should start streaming more instead of.
I play more. I just play with my. Oh no!
Stop podcasting so much. Maybe you'll play some game.
You know what? That's a thing. You know.
He just leaves and goes to play Monster Hunter.
Well, I have a few, and I'll just get this out of the way because I love video games. I'm just not good at them. I can never beat any game on a high difficulty. I don't know. I just can never get good. I love enjoying my games, but I suck at them. So my first ever personal achievement, this might sound kind of cliche, but when I was younger, it was when I beat the water temple for the first time in Ocarina of Time.
That's a good one, though.
I hear that's an achievement, though.
It's tough. That's like my question wasn't for you nailed it because like it wasn't like who's the strongest. It was more like we have that moment, and that's exactly a good example of.
Yeah. And like looking back on it, like if I were to go back and play Ocarina of Time, and I do occasionally, that's one of the games that I do go back to regularly. I do think the Water Temple isn't as bad as everyone makes it out to be. It's well designed, but doesn't mean it's not challenging. It's that one freaking key. So that was like my first accomplishment. I don't think I have that many. I think actually the rest of them just kind of left my brain. Like, what did I accomplish? I felt personally, well, there's a trend here. I'm a big Zelda fan. Mm-hmm. When I accomplished the Trial of the Sword, which was in the expansion pass for Breath of the Wild.
That was tough. I felt the same way too, because like that was difficult towards the end there. Like there are some, because you start, what is it? You start every temple pretty much with just your shorts.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Right.
Just running around almost naked with just a stick. So
basically you're Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah. And I would say the last one, and this is definitely a personal achievement because I'm a scaredy cat. I don't like horror games. I don't like spooky games. But because of certain podcasts, I was convinced to try one out. So I played Soma. Soma was my first ever horror game.
That's a hard game to play, if you know what I'm saying. Like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying because you played it. But as your first horror game, that's even more of a...
Yep. First entry to horror game. Wow. And there are many times I just put the controller down. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I could do this. I actually made a friend sit next to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lasby insists that I play it. I made one of my friends sit next to me, and there's one level where you're not even in danger. Turns out it's just like an NPC that's just scary and just appears out of nowhere and starts talking to you. I'm like, I like had to close my eyes and like move the controller because I was too afraid to see what will happen.
I played that vicariously through a Let's Play, Markiplier, and I was like, what's this game Markiplier's playing? And I was shook for like probably a week and a half. That game, I was like, oh God, I don't know what to do with anything anymore. So I commend you for playing it at all. Difficulty isn't just hitting the buttons. It's also not burning the game after seeing like what it's capable of showing you.
Yeah. True that.
It's cursed. Yeah.
There's a game that's new. Stoy reviewed it. Martha is Dead, and I want to challenge myself with playing through it. But I heard it can be really tough. Just graphically and psychologically, not tough gameplay wise. Though I will say, gameplay-wise, it's not done yet, so I don't want to jinx myself. I have a current goal. So I'm playing through Sifu. I wrote a game review for it.
Oh, cool.
I want to go back and see if I can beat it. I mean, like I said, I'm not great at video games, so I can't do I beat the whole game under 25 years old. But I want to be able to beat the game like 40 or younger. So I'm currently at 40 on the 4th level. So I'm on my way there.
That's great. Sifu, I'm still working my way through it. It's tough also. Like that is all I made a joke to myself. I laughed so hard. Was that it was like a Parappa the Rapper. Like it's like it's a rhythm game with martial arts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Good luck with that. Because you're ahead of me.
It's
I think
all in the mind.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I'm a glutton for punishment there because in the beginning it was so hard to take down the bosses, especially the one that's in the club, the guy with
the staff. You know what I learned like my 4th time fighting him is that the stabs are in the room for you to use as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I kept fighting him without, and so Mark and Dave make fun of me for always picking the hard mode of a game, just because I like to. I want my reasoning is because I'm like, let me just get this done the hardest way so that I can just not have to go back to it. Because people are like, oh, I beat the game on normal. Now I'm going to go back on hard. I'm like, no, I just want to do it once to my discredit because I usually give up because I'm beating myself up. So that's their joke that I didn't.
It's all right. You know, I tried going for the staffs, but I usually
he comes at you.
Yeah, he's quick, and he'll just knock you over before you even get to it. Or as soon as you get it, he knocks it out of your hands again. I'm like, well, am I going to waste time trying to pick it back up?
Exactly. And then at that point, you're like, all right, let me just dodge all these huge attacks. And he's like 8 feet tall. Forget it.
Yeah, he's a big dude. Yeah, so those are my little mini achievements, I would say.
Those are good ones. The Soma ones got me thinking about Soma again. Now I'm just struggling. Just see me leave the call. Like, I gotta go think about life again. See you guys. Like,
I say for me, like I can't think of any like recent games. Like I feel like recent games for me, they're not too hard, and I also steer myself away from games that are supposedly hard. So like the Souls games and all that stuff, I don't mess with those. Like there's no chance in hell I'm playing Elden Ring. But one I can definitely say off the top of my head, and this is a game that haunted me from back when I was a kid, like the original Ninja Gaiden for NES.
Difficult game.
I never beat that. As a matter of fact, I was on the next to last boss of that game. So world stage 6-3. That game had 3 boss fights. It had 3 boss fights in that one stage. You had your pre-boss, your mid boss, I guess you call it your mini boss, and then you had the end game boss. And I could never beat the mid boss of it as a kid. Mm-hmm. And shoot, let's see. I'm 46 years old right now. I want to say I finally beat that game as an adult. I want to say I was like 42 or 43 when I finally beat it. I finally beat it on an emulator, no tool assist or nothing like that. I actually just got in there, got my ass kicked a few times because it was getting to the point where I was like, man, I'll put this fucking game down again. and there's just like some stubborn pride in me. Like I did a save state and I came back to it like a day or two later and I beat it. And I was like, I am no longer playing this fucking game for the rest of my life now.
That's awesome. So there's something about those NES games that
like there's not enough muscle memory for me to come back to it. But you know, like games like Mega Man games, Super Mario, I have muscle memory for those games all day and stuff like that. But not Ninja Gaiden, not anymore.
I know, LeRon, you said no to this already, but and I still need to check the internet for this. I wonder who has decided to try out Dread mode in Metroid Dread, the one-hit kill.
I thought about it for like a hot,
I bet you
spicy
if I jump on YouTube right now, I can find someone.
Yeah, Dread mode 8-minute completion.
Yeah.
Then you just delete your YouTube account and never internet again.
That's
what I mean. At that point, what are you even doing? You know.
Right. Dread mode.
Dread mode. Run. Now I've seen some of these people do their freaking like let's play. Like look, there's a Beard Bear X, who he was one of the guys I was watching do sequence breaks. He has a full game Dread mode on here. Let me see. In this walkthrough, hold on, let me read it. In this walkthrough, with no commentary, Nintendo Switch, in this walkthrough we focus on sequence breaking and playing straight to the point to finish the game in under 2 hours, and we will unlock the best endings. No turbo controller. It does not say no deaths, though, so I'm not sure about this.
Wow.
Well, Dread mode is also one hit will kill you, right? It's
one
not just
hit will kill you, yeah.
Yeah.
It's too much. That's
too
much.
Like, nah, because I was one of those people, I was one of those people when I found out like you could beat the Emmys. You could outwit the Emmys and not get killed by them. Like I was one of those people that was like, you know what? If they catch me, I'm going to try my best to parry everything. And for a little while, I got good to where I could parry both the first and the second attack from the Emmy.
That's awesome.
And then after I beat the game, I came back to it like a week later to play it and get more of a completionist run. And I had lost my knack for fighting off the Emmy, so I was like, I'm done for now.
Speaking of muscle memory.
Yeah.
That you need muscle memory for that.
Well, I mean, there's. Okay, so each attack for the Emmys, like Corey and Corey and Stephanie, y'all have heard me say this before. Each attack for the Emmys have, for each of the different strikes, they have 4 different ways they can strike you. So like when they grab you the first time, there's a 1 in 4 chance that you'll get the right pattern to dodge that. And then if you don't dodge that, you have another 1 in 4 chance to dodge the follow up. If you counter the first one, but don't get away, you got another chance. And it's like, man. And I got to the point where I was like, okay, like I got to the point where I was manipulating it because I learned to basically, if it grabs you from a certain way, you actually get the animation that you want. So I learned if I was going to get caught by an Emmy, I learned which way to position myself to get caught by it, so I could actually like counter that first hit.
The animation that you had memorized at that point.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's a little pro tip for people out there who are having problems with Emmys. Like if you're one of those people that always get caught by the Emmys, just figure out like the best animation that you could get caught in to parry it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Besides, muscle memory sucks. Once you get to a certain age, like muscle memory just doesn't do you any good anymore.
Right.
I will say though, just in general, I think if anyone beats Metroid Dread, I think that's a good achievement. It's not an easy game just on regular normal mode, just in my opinion. I don't know.
I'm with you. That last boss really took me off guard.
Fun though.
Great fight. As soon as you're like, what's happening? Okay, I figured it out. But like, that took a lot of work. That actually made me feel the same way I feel when I'm fighting like a Dark Souls boss, where you're like, okay, kill me a bunch of times so I can learn what you do, because there's no other way to get through that. And thankfully, there's no progress loss in Metroid. So I think that's like, it's great.
You know what? That's the key. We were talking about Elden Ring and the Souls games, and basically we were like, look, like it's not the fact that they're too hard. It's just that you need to actually sit down, learn the animations, learn the attack patterns, and all that stuff, and then there's a reason why these guys jump on YouTube and they look super pro. Is that some of them?
Yeah,
a small percentage of them do have the knack for it. But at the same time, like some of them, before you get on and play your best Let's Play, like you always practice the game. Like, that's why like some people get on there and brag and say it's a blind run. If it's a blind run, I believe you. Yeah. especially when you're taking L's. Yeah.
There's 2 friends of mine who are playing. One who plays Dark Souls all the time, and another one who doesn't. Ron Chan. He's great. He's a great dude. He's an artist. Friend of ours. He doesn't play. He plays a lot of Monster Hunter. Actually, he loves Monster Hunter. You guys get along. Yeah, he's great. He was actually just on our show and he talked about Monster Hunter. Yes, that was Ron. He's great, right?
Yeah, he's awesome.
He was great. And so he was talking about Monster Hunter, but we were also talking about Elden Ring. And we've been trying to talk to him like, oh, you should play it, Ron. You'll have a great time. Me and my buddy TJ, and he finally played Elden Ring. And so now he's showed us a video of him like sneaking around in a bush. Like, because apparently there's a spell where you can just become a bush and run up the stairs, and enemies will just like, what's that? And then ignore it. It's a walking bush, and then you can sneak up on enemies. And I was like, this is possible in this game. That's pretty. I love that. I'm like, that's Elden Ring at least on one end of it, and then the other end of it, TJ was fighting some enemy at 1 HP or whatever. And he was like running him around the room until he can get him onto an elevator, activate the elevator, and make the dude fall off the elevator. Like he tricked him to get on it. When I'm like, okay, that's like the very Dark Souls cheese kind of move. So it's like my takeaway is that there's a lot more play styles that are possible with Elden Ring. So I think that's because there's like this Breath of the Wild exploration that they totally nailed, and everybody wants to explore a game like it was in Breath of the Wild. So that's the appeal there. But then there's also the combat that is very like, oh God, it's that From Software dodge stuff, which I still dread wanting to learn. And I like these games. So it's like, okay. So like the price for the world is that. So but then you could be a bush. So then
you could be a bush.
Right.
Would you say this is probably one of the more accessible games for maybe those that have not tried a Souls-like before? And maybe are a little hesitant to play a Souls-like?
From my perspective, I think if we're talking just From Software's Souls-likes, I think so. Mainly because if you get stuck on a boss, you can literally frig off on your horse and go find something else to fight. And then if that thing kills you, you can go find something else until you feel confident. And there's plenty of stuff to do. Like, because in the Dark Souls games, you're on a track, essentially. And you have to, there's optional stuff, but you have to go through the next boss to get ahead to the next part of the game. With this, there's just like, go. And you could wind up in the wrong neighborhood. There's somebody who tweeted, like, Elden Ring is if you wound up in the wrong neighborhood was a video game. Because pretty much, like, you could be in the wrong spot and just get sniped by some wizard who's just hanging out in a tower, like it's Lord of the Rings or something.
Let me ask a question, because last night on Crossroads we were talking. Well, the big topic for the show last night was should games come with like a difficulty slider? Basically, should all games be developed, for anyone to adjust the difficulty? Of course, like that's a very heated argument, because like some people are like, yes, like there should always be like accessibility for people, and other times it's like, no, like let the creators create the game they want to create and stuff like that. So, but Miyazaki, the director for Elden Ring and all the Soul series, he basically in an interview, he stated that he stated that he felt very apologetic towards anyone who feels there's too much to overcome in the games he creates. And immediately, as soon as I read that line, everyone was like, bullshit.
I think it isn't actually. It's an interesting topic. I don't have the right answer, but I think that I'm not trying to balk here too much, because I feel like there's validity in both ends of it, because on one hand, yes, play the game. If it's something you're not enjoying, don't play it. If the difficulty is just not your cup of tea. Like, I'm not here to get my butt kicked. I'm here to explore a world full of robotic dinosaurs. I think Horizon Zero Dawn's apparently hard. I didn't know that. I learned that today, and I was like, is it?
Is it?
Dawn hard?
Are you sure?
The new one I heard is maybe on that.
Blessed.
Yeah, the new one. I'm happy about it having a story mode, though, because like that game is very fun to explore. But I think that like when there's games that do hidden difficulty adjustments, like Resident Evil 4, that's when I'm like, nobody would know the difference. So, but then I'm like, am I being cheated out of my experience? I don't know if I would feel a difference if you never told me. Destiny has auto aim like crazy if you're on controller, and I know I'm not popping that headshot. I know I'm being helped like a fair amount. So like, but that doesn't remove it from me. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I clearly don't have a definitive answer.
Well, LeRon, didn't he also say that, part of the challenge in Elden Ring or those Souls-like, type games, the whole point is growing through the difficulty. Like,
yes,
it's part of, I don't know, it's very philosophical the way he states, like, we're not making it hard to like ruin your day or annoy you. It's hard because we want you to grow and become better, and that's part of the game experience, right?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, his exact line was, I just want as many players as possible to experience the joy that comes from overcoming hardship.
Yes.
And you know what? I respect that.
Yeah, me too. You know what? I feel like see, this is going to sound so classist when I say it. I feel like people don't understand the concept of working for it. Like every game, like shit. Look at Metroid Dread. Like, I mean, like I love the Metroid series, and I felt like I had to put in work to beat this game. Because out of all the stuff that was challenging, the most challenging stuff, it wasn't the boss battles. It was the Emmys, and it was the Chozo statues. The Chozo robots, like those were the most challenging thing. The boss fights themselves, in my opinion, were not that bad and stuff like that.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like the Emmys made you work for it, and shit. Like I was definitely pissed when you had the one that had the fucking wave beam that was shooting you through walls and stuff. And I was like, where'd that come from?
And it wrecks your health too.
Yeah.
It's not just like a little hit. It's like you're half dead now.
Yeah, and like she's got Metroid DNA in her, so like the one that has the ice shot. Oh my god.
Yep. Corey, how do you feel about difficulty scales?
I'm of the opinion that people should just make the game that they want to make, and if they want to put difficulty things in there. And people, like, I understand accessibility and stuff for people, but there are millions of video games out there that you could play. Why do you need to play this one? If you can't.
Here's my thing, and this is to supplement what you just said, Corey. Here's my thing. if you absolutely want to play the game and you bought it, why are you bitching about it?
Here's the thing. This is going to be a terrible opinion to most people.
About to be a hot take? How about to be a hot take?
I don't think Dark Souls and Bloodborne are hard. I think you have to be patient, and I think you have to grind and work for it.
Thank you.
You have to learn the enemy patterns. It's not hard. It's no harder than going into Mega Man and learning the enemy, like what the enemies do.
And it sounds horrible to say, but it really is. Every boss has a limited number of moves. They're not they're not making it up as they go. It is.
I'm not saying that it's not challenging.
Right.
Like trying to learn what they do, but once you learn what they do, granted, there's some things in Dark Souls 1 that you're like, what? Yeah. What was that? Like that's like the time I was climbing up the ladder at the very first boss in Dark Souls, and I climbed up the ladder to like drink an Estus flask, and he just jumped up and like I rolled off the castle tower and like fell off.
Yep. It's that kind of goofing that I feel like define those series too, because there's a lot of goofy stuff like that elevator example. Like that's silly.
Or like when you're fighting like there's like this like one of the Black Knights in a really tight corridor, and I was swinging a broadsword at him, and it hit the wall, and he killed me because I hit the wall with the sword and not him.
Yeah, I was playing one of those on Twitch once, and somebody was like, "Use a spear," and I'm like, "I'm not built for a spear. I have like, don't tell. I know I need to like." Yeah.
I mean, I think personally, out of the ones that I've played, Bloodborne's probably the easiest to get into.
Yeah,
but
Bloodborne's
also,
I think a favorite among a lot of people who start out.
But also, like, I've played enough of those games to know that I'm just not going to be into Elden Ring. So
interesting.
I just, I mean, I beat Bloodborne. I played like half of Dark Souls 1, and I played like half of Dark Souls 3, and I'm like, I'm good. I know that those games just don't do it for me.
One of the games that I feel like messed up a bit, but I still love it, but I think it's not as accessible as Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
That's the hard one, I would say.
Yes, because that one's mechanically challenging. You can learn the bosses, but you have to have, it's again, martial arts, Parappa the Rapper, but Dark Souls, because you have to get that beat down, and if literally the
and
beat
you have to get the parrying down.
Then if you don't, you're done. Like, it's pretty much it. Like, if you don't know how to parry and do all that stuff, then you're gonna have a hard time. You can't just dodge around. Actually, it's funny. You have unlimited like stamina, so you could just run around like crazy, which is like unheard of in those games. So I remember thinking like, oh, this is gonna be easy. I can just run. No, not the case. I was very wrong.
That's. I mean, I know that's. I didn't know if Sekiro being the quote unquote hard one was like a popular opinion, but I would say that's probably
it's a popular opinion.
Yeah, it's a popular opinion. It just asks so much of your timing, and I think that's the biggest difference. And it just goes back to that accessibility thing, because it literally is just either, and I hate saying this, Sekiro is either get good or don't play, and I hate that because there is a gratification. There is that, like, you grew through it.
Yeah.
In all of them, especially Sekiro, honestly, because if you get that timing down, whoa, you feel so like I can probably create a brand new form of energy. I'm so smart feeling at the end of it. Like, you feel like you're the king of the world or the queen of the world or whatever kind of monarch you want to be. And so that's the part of it that, like, once you're on the other side of it, like, oh man, everybody should feel this, but no, because not everybody wants to do all that. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it's exhausting.
Yeah. You know what is hard? Grandmaster Nightfalls in Destiny.
I was not too sure where you were going with that. I was like, I don't. Those are difficult. I agree.
Oh. You want to have a bad time.
Yeah. They're exhausting.
Well, I definitely think I am going to eventually get Elden Ring then, because I was kind of asking for myself, because I've never played a Soulsborne game. Not that I've had an aversion to them, but my history with video games was primarily with Zelda. And then once I started listening to video game podcasts, I then branched out to different genres. It's just one of the last genres I've touched upon. And then I did eventually get scared about how difficult things are. But, unless the game itself is broken, like there's an actual broken aspect of the game, how can you really be mad about not being able to accomplish them? Because it just takes time and patience, and I think part of it is we're at least here, we're all adults, at least age-wise, number-wise, and we have limited time. And I think that's kind of the frustration, because when you're a kid, you had all the time in the world to beat your head against the wall until you master something. But when you're adult, especially if you have kids, the window grows shorter. So that's why, like, now I'm like, you know what? I'm sold. I'm going to get Elden Ring, but I'm not going to get it now because I know I don't have the capacity for it. And therefore, I will likely become frustrated unnecessarily because I won't be able to dedicate the time to master or get good.
Yeah, I mean, and there's also the thing I like about it, among all of the other Souls games, that Elden Ring, you can play as so many different classes. And the builds actually matter in this. And one of the ones that people are showing off on Twitter are the magic builds, which apparently make the game very playable for people who are new to the series, because you can like stun enemies and then just run up to them and hit them with a critical hit, which I think looks like a lot of fun. I'm actually kind of bummed out that I didn't make a magic build, because I'm like, I want to throw a Kamehameha like in Dark Souls. Like, I want to do that. So there's there's never really been like, you can make builds in the other games and everyone's got their min-max or whatever they're doing. But I think in this one, it's actually like, no, these are real. Like, they exist.
What character build did you start with?
I chose a Confessor, which is a church spy.
Ooh.
It's got holy magic, and I'm like, well, these things are all evil, so I'm going to be waving the Lord's light at these enemies. The result is apparently I can sneak, like with like my feet glow, and I can
you turn into
around.
A bush?
I think I have to find that spell, but the answer is no right now. But I chose the Confessor, and I just found this rapier, which was comically larger than I thought it was supposed to be. Like, when I equipped it, I'm like, oh, good. This is probably a dexterity weapon. It tells you when you see it. And I was like, great, it's my new sword. But it's like a lance, but a sword. I'm like, this is ridiculous. My dude's like stabbing like 8 feet away, and I'm like, I feel like Sephiroth right now. Like, this is silly. So and that's when it gets goofy, like when you find stuff like that. So I did choose, I don't know why I chose this class. I just looked at them and I was like, yeah, I'll be the church guy. I'll be the combat nun. Let's go. Like, this will be great.
Wow. Man. Good times. Good topic.
Yeah. Thanks, Dan.
Difficult video games. Good time.
Or a bad time.
Bad time. Bad time that could be a good time, or bad time that could just turn into a different game.
Real quick side question, because it's not exactly the same thing as difficult games or best difficult achieve whatever.
Yeah.
Out of all of us, like, are we big achievement hunters? When, like, if we're on, I mean, Nintendo doesn't really do it, but if you're on PlayStation or whatever, do you play games to really, platinum things and stuff like that?
I don't. Mark does. Mark, if you're listening, I'm going to do my best to represent you now. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So a while ago, Mark would buy a game. He just was achievement hunting, like trophy hunting. I want all the plats. That was his thing. And then it came to a point where he was like not having fun, but still doing it. But he got his platinum count up there. Like, I used to say, I forgot. He asked me in a tastemaker once, and I got it way off, and he was very offended. But I was low. He has a high platinum count. And then he shifted his feelings to, let me just do this when I love a game, which he just did with Sifu, actually. And I was like, you did what? And he's like, yeah, you're 25 years old. I'm like, come on, man, that's not easy.
That's impressive.
He's ridiculous. So that's Mark. I only did it with Destiny because it was bothering me that I got like 98% of the trophies, and every time I loaded it up, it's like, you have 97% or whatever. And so I was like, let me just go finish Last Wish and get this last trophy. So that was I think that was the extent of my trophy hunting that I did. Or achievement hunting.
Nice. Yeah, for me, I've never really purposely, went achievement hunting. Though I got very close unintentionally when I was playing through The Medium. That's my second horror game that I decided to venture through, because I noticed when I was near the end that I somehow managed to get all the trophies with one, and only had one left, and that was to find all the, not memories, I forgot what it was, but all these like recreations of things that happened in the past. And I actually really loved the game to the point where I was trying to find all the rooms and everything, and I was convinced I got it. And when the game rolled its credits, I double checked, and I still didn't see that trophy there. And I don't know. I don't know if I want to replay a whole game just to get that, because that trophy you'd have to find all the memories. So
There's no chapter select or anything like that.
I don't think so.
That to me is a huge quality of life thing to add when there's stuff like that. Like I feel like you have to do it. But,
yeah, or at least like once you complete the whole game, then offer the chapters instead of in the So anyway.
Cool. Did you ever love a game like with the medium? I guess is one example. That's usually when I do it. Like if I am close and I love the game, like I think I did it with Donut County. Which is fun, by the way. I love that game a lot.
Yeah.
That's a good platinum to get because it's very, you can do a chapter select and like the challenges to get each trophy are goofy and it asks you to do really dumb things in the world. So that's a fun platinum to get.
Okay. I'll definitely have to give that a shot. I mean, I really love Sifu, but I know I'm not going to platinum that game.
Right.
So.
I don't think I could either. Mark's, as they say, built different when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Wait, actually, I heard Sifu was kind of like an easy platinum.
But
if you can, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say what she was gonna say is to get to the end without dying as much as you would have to. It's hard.
See, yeah, that's the thing about roguelikes. Yeah, that is the thing. But I've heard people are having an easier time platinuming Sifu than they are Returnal.
Oh. I guess that makes sense. Have you played Returnal? Anyone here? Or
I haven't, but I haven't played it yet.
I don't have a PlayStation 5, so
I'm sorry to bring it up.
no, I don't really even plan on getting one, honestly.
Oh, okay, fair.
Oh, he's lying. He's lying.
I said I will
He's saying it to protect his feelings.
No, yeah, exactly. I said I will get one when it's smaller and there's more games to play.
That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying now.
I had one in my cart yesterday and I didn't pull the trigger. So,
well,
GameStop had those.
Well, you know what? That's your fault.
I mean, we've had this discussion. I took a picture of my PS4 Pro next to my PS5. It's like you could fit a PS4 Pro inside the PS5.
I mean, I do kind of regret getting rid of my PlayStation 4 because I do want to play Horizon.
I bet you do. I bet you do.
Yeah, that library is not slowing down. Like they were like, we're just gonna keep making games.
Because like if I got a PlayStation at this point, like, I mean, yes, I will get one eventually. I'm just like not in a rush to get one. You know, I have a Series X. I have a Switch. I'm fine for now. I don't even have time to play those. But like Horizon and God of War and Uncharted are like, you know, man, I kind of miss those. You know,
someday.
Yeah, someday.
Mm-hmm.
So,
God of War is going to be good. I have a friend who doesn't play difficult games, and she went in on the Valkyries. I don't know what got into her.
Okay, that's a challenge.
That's what I'm saying. Like she was like, yeah, you know, I like. Actually, she plays lots of Zelda. She plays lots of very great games. She just got like, if it gets too hard, she's like, I'm good, dude. I don't need to go all like that. And then she's like, yeah, so I've been playing the Valkyries. I'm like, wait a second.
You're doing what?
Like first of all, cool. Second of all, can I watch? Third of all, are you okay? Like she's like, yeah, I think I hate them. I'm like, you should.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going anywhere near them. Those Valkyries. I'm good.
I think I'm way more excited to play Horizon than God of War.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I'm not as high on God of War as
non-plus, as they say. You're not non-plus. Like you weren't really that impressed, nor were you that disappointed. You're just like, yep.
I mean, it was fine. I actually stopped playing it for a while.
Oh.
And I went back to it, and I thought the game got 100 times better when you got the chains back.
It does. Mainly because, and I guess this is spoilers for God of War. Usually we have a big spoiler barrier. But when
they get it. They don't care.
I mean, it's God of War also. Like he has them in every game. It just opens the combat up literally 100%, and it just makes it this whole other game that you could.
I feel like see, I'm kind of torn on that because I actually like combat with the axe. I did have my fun when I got the chains though, but I feel like there's something to be said for playing the game with the axe. I don't know, but then again, I'm also one of those people. I'm more of a close melee person.
Right.
Like it reflects very well in like the weapons I choose in Monster Hunter.
I was gonna say, like in Monster Hunter, there are very few long range choices that are really viable as much as the greatsword and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I think the chains made it feel a lot more like the old games, and I really like the old games. And I don't know. I know I'm weird, internet. Thank you.
I think they accept you.
Yeah, it's okay. They're not here for me.
They're here for LeRon and his sleeveless shirts.
I know they are. They really are.
I bought brand new tank tops.
Dude,
Ooh.
the only sleeves thing on your Twitter made me laugh so hard earlier. I was like, only sleeves. So no middle shirt? Just straight up. I was like, I get what he's saying, but then I was like, but that is just 2 sleeves. Like arm warmers, and that's it. Also would sell, honestly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Corey's mad at me because he finds out what I do when I actually do cut off sleeves of my shirts. I actually turn them into freaking do-rags.
That sounds. I mean, you're reusing fabric. That's good.
You're recycling, LeRon. I guess it's good.
It's called upcycling. That's the posh way to say it.
Upcycling?
Upcycling.
What are all these words people are making up now? What?
You throw it up in the air, and then it...
Corey, stop complaining. It makes you sound older than you actually are.
Dude.
Don't say the quiet part out loud.
It's just like, come on. Just there's already words for these things. Just
Like
use them.
recycle?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think part of it is not only are you reusing it, but you're like adding value to what it already. Because like no one thought those sleeves are going to be a good do-rag, but LeRon did.
Yeah.
He was like, you know what? I see something here. Invention.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wear them but so long because it feels like I'm strangling my scalp. But you know,
I can imagine. Yeah. That's probably not a cozy fit. Thinking about it.
Yeah, for real.
Hey, LeRon. Side tangent. Did you know they're doing a Dead Space remake live stream later this week?
I do, as a matter of fact, I was supposed to do a write-up on it, but I had like the world's busiest day today. Like I woke up this morning. I woke up this morning at 6:30 workout, 8:30 business meeting, and then like the day was just kind of scattered for me. It just got to the point where I saw the news. I saw the headline on it early this morning. Before I actually did the workout, and today felt like the world's shittiest day because I'm one of those people I cannot function. I cannot function when it's raining in the wintertime. Like it's one of those things. I don't have a problem with it being cold outside. I don't have a problem with it being raining outside. I have a problem when it's a combination of the two going on at once. And like first thing in the morning where I have to be out there and it's raining fucking sideways and it's fucking 22 degrees because there's wind and there's water coming at you. No. So my mood was kind of shot.
Yeah, today was so busy. I was overwhelmed for the first time in a long time today, and not that that's a bad thing. It's not like I was like mad about it. It was just like, oh my gosh, because it's an event week for us, so it was all right. Anyways, Stephanie, you said you had a topic earlier.
Well, unless you guys have a topic, because I was thinking of something fun.
I just show up.
Let's do your fun topic.
Well, it's not really a topic because since we have a guest, and the guest is one of the co-hosts of Dinosaur Machines, for fun facts for those who are listening, Dinosaur Machines does a segment at the end of every show called a Trivial Tastemaker.
Oh no.
A trivial what?
Dan, would you like to explain what that is?
The Trivial Tastemaker is a competition between Mark, Dave, and myself where every week we rotate who will run it. And I often forget to create one. Thusly, we default to a few formats we have. But essentially, we quiz the other two on whatever. Or it's a fun...
Trivia.
Trivia, yeah. Exactly. And it's trivial, which is the joke there. And
then you gain points by the end of the season. Yes. You get what?
We get the Latinum. Well, there's the Latinum pterodactyl. There's a silver monkey. It's all based on. What was it?
Sounds like Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah.
And the Latinum pterodactyl is funny because the P is silent. It took me a minute when Mark made that. I was like Latinum. And I'm like, what is that? And he was like platinum, but the P is silent because it's a pterodactyl. And I'm like, okay, friendship in question. Please move on.
It's a good joke.
It's great.
I like the smart guy already.
He's okay, peeps.
Yeah, so I figure we do a boss rush version of Trivial Tastemaker in honor of Dan being here. Well,
Nice.
But here's the good news for you guys. I also had a busy as hell day, and I couldn't come up with a very witty game because that was my goal. I'm like, I'm gonna come up with like the coolest, funnest game ever, and it's gonna blow everybody's minds. And then here I am, like 15 minutes before the podcast. So I'm like, let me just put something together.
You and me are the same when it comes to making the Trivial Tastemaker. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait I'm gonna wow my friends. And then it's like we record at like 9 or 8:30 depending, and I'm like, it's 8:15. Okay, we're just gonna guess the game.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it's gonna be. Unfortunately, sorry to be cliche, but we're gonna do a guess the game. It's 20 questions. Guess the game.
It's better than like when I was doing show notes for Arsenal X, I'd literally try to write them while I was putting my daughter to bed.
Hey, gotta do what you gotta do.
It gets real in the show notes.
It does.
So,
why is there just crying emojis in this section?
I'm very excited for this Trivial Tastemaker. I feel like I'm at home.
There you go. See, we're here to make our guests always feel comfortable here. So I have picked a game, and we will go in, I don't know, whatever order. I would say guest goes first, but then LeRon, Corey, you guys can fight over who goes next, and we'll go round robin until someone can guess the game. And I have the game pulled up in case my memory fails. So let's get started.
I've fudged a tastemaker or two where I'm like, yes, that's a fact about the game, and then it's not, and then Dave was like, wow, we're podcast is over. I'm like, oh, so good on you for having the foresight, because I often don't.
So is this you said this is 20 questions?
20 questions, and just to keep things simple, again, because I lack originality, it's just going to be a video game, video game title.
A video game title.
It's this brings me a lot of post-traumatic stress because it's my old podcast that I used to do.
This is from the old school, like Boss Rush.
No, this is from
Standard Def.
No, this is from Nerds Gone Rogue, from when we ended every episode with a game of 20 questions.
You're gonna be okay, Corey?
I don't know. We'll find out, I guess.
It's like that Chihuahua with the helicopters.
179 episodes of
that.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I promise next time I'll try and come up with something that's not 20 questions.
Nope, I'm ready. I had a lot of practice.
Or we could do a Wordle, but I don't know Wordle very well.
I've never done a Wordle, so I wouldn't know what to do.
Okay, five letters can't be plurals. Like, yeah, it's pretty simple.
Mario.
Okay.
I won.
Anyway,
shouldn't be proper. It can't be proper names either. Proper names, proper nouns. I mean, yeah.
Super. I still win.
No, let's do a 20Q.
All right. Go. Guest goes first, you said?
Yeah, Dan.
Oh, okay. I'm going to ask Mark's question. Was this game released on or earlier than January 2001?
No.
Okay.
Oh, somebody listens to Game Scoop, I see.
Probably Mark.
That's always the first question on Game Scoop.
It was what did you say, January 2021? Is that what you said?
2001.
2001.
So now we know that the game
released after.
Yeah, just to help you guys. I guess I don't know why I'm helping you guys. This is a competition.
Is this game on the Switch?
Yes.
Haha, Switch game, guys.
Nicely done.
Okay.
I guess I should have asked if it was exclusive or not. That was dumb.
All right.
Well,
is this a Legend of Zelda title?
No.
Oh.
And I know better, because that would have been just too easy.
Yeah, that Hyrule Shield's right there. That would have been
exactly.
That's not true. There's like 9 or 10 Zelda games on the Switch now.
But imagine if we didn't guess it and it was a Zelda game and the shield was there the whole time. All right.
Yeah.
Is this game an action adventure game?
No.
Interesting. Interesting indeed.
Is your protagonist human in this game? Oh no!
This is the pain.
It's one of those questions. Like, technically, yes.
Would this character be recognizable as a human? I guess you would say. Like,
I would say yes. Then.
oh no!
Yeah.
Oh
So
no!
they're human passing. Okay.
Oh no!
That's-
What if
that's
it's like
huge.
an elf?
What if it's
No,
like an
no,
elf?
it's
What
No,
if it's one of them
it's not
weird
an
cat
elf.
people from Skyrim?
Well, that last question didn't help me with anything. So let's see.
Well,
Wait, hold on.
Would
Is
you
anyone
guys?
keeping track of number of questions? Because I haven't been. Hold
Yeah,
on.
that was number. Yeah, Corey's is number 5.
Yeah,
Alright.
don't worry, LeRon has been trained on the old version of standard def.
True that. Let's see. My ex.
Hold on,
Okay.
would we consider like Mario a humanoid character?
I would say he's a
Mario's
human.
Yeah, I would
human.
say he's a human.
He's just weird looking, man.
I
Give him a
mean,
break.
but when you get to New Donk City, he's like around regular, normal humans, and he's
true.
just this little like doughy human.
Yeah,
That's how I
true.
feel
Yeah.
sometimes, though.
Don't worry, I am not splitting hairs to that degree.
It's not like when Kingdom Hearts is like when Sora goes to Lion King Land and he becomes a lion.
Furry.
Yeah.
So humanish character.
Hmm.
Is this a science fiction game?
Oh no, she has to look it up. This isn't good.
No, I'm not looking it up. It's just I would classify it like I would say story-wise, or if you want to call it, like it does fall into the realm of science fiction. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh.
Interesting.
The concept is science fiction.
I'm just gonna. Is it a Switch exclusive?
No.
No.
Just wanted to get that out there. Now we know. We can think outside of the box a little bit.
So wait. So Switch exclusive. If it's not a Switch exclusive, does that mean like? Because there's so many Wii U ports on this thing. Oh no! Now I'm really upset.
This is literally any video game.
I hope you're not. I hope you're. Okay, it's not exclusive.
Did Nintendo publish this game?
No.
Okay, that makes me feel a lot better. Okay.
Oh, wait. I could have helped you out with that one. Oh no, because I guess Switch exclusive could still. Never mind. Good
There's
answer.
a lot of
Good-
there's Wii and Wii U games on the
Yeah,
Switch now. And I'm just
crossover.
like, oh my god.
We were thinking of two different things, and now I see where you went, and now I understand.
We've converged. One path.
Yes.
All right, not exclusive. Sci-fi, humanish character.
Not action adventure.
Third
Released
party
after
game.
2001.
Third party game.
Yep, third-party game.
That should narrow it down, right? Third party game
Yeah.
on Switch.
Yeah, like Switch is my weakest system. Jesus
See.
Christ.
Science fiction-y game. So, I mean, I guess Wolfenstein technically science fiction third party.
Interesting. That is pretty.
Doom science fiction-y third party. Kind of human, kind of not.
Instead of trying to guess random game scoring, maybe just start asking questions.
I'm just trying to think. I'm just trying to let people know what I'm thinking here.
This is what we mess up with, because on the podcast we'll just leave dead space and be like, we're thinking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm trying to fill space. I'm trying to make it entertaining for people.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I can just shout nonsense words too. Pineapple.
Science fiction.
No.
Ooh, you know what else?
Oh,
You know what else?
man.
Twizzlers.
Assassin's Creed games are on Switch. Those are science fiction-y, and you're kind of human, but you're kind of not because you're going back in time in a machine.
You're
Banana hammock.
Oh God, no.
I could use something
Is
else
this
to
it?
think about.
Is this game?
All I can think of is okay.
Is this game co-op or multiplayer? Or can this game? Is this game a co-op or / multiplayer game?
I do not believe there is any multiplayer there.
Okay.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me. Nope. The video game does not have multiplayer.
Okay. Well, that was question number 8.
Does this game take place in a kind of like recognizable future that we would recognize as like a future that we could possibly be in someday?
Oh wow. Okay.
You know, like does this like?
I think you're asking if it's dystopian future.
No, I don't know. She
Yeah,
said,
there's that.
She said science fiction-y, so I'm trying to think of like science fiction doesn't necessarily
Isn't anything
mean future.
science fiction could technically be possible in the future? Because
Yeah.
that's the difference between that and fantasy, right? I'm just trying to help you out.
Thanks for shooting down
way
my
to
question.
way to waste a question, man.
I won't
She didn't
count
even
it. I won't
answer.
count.
Oh, you won't count it? Okay.
I helped define it, and then I think indirectly Corey redacted that question, right, Corey?
Sure.
Redact.
Wii Sports is our dystopian future. 1-2 switch.
Get your
is a
mind
dystopian.
off Nintendo.
One could only
I
think.
am, but I'm just trying to think of third-party things that are on science
I'm
fiction-y.
trying to think now.
I know.
Is it my,
Panama Canal.
is it
I'm
my
gonna
turn to
start
ask?
Yeah.
I will ask.
I think we lost track of who's asking
That's okay.
the question.
Is this game an RPG?
No, it is not.
Ooh.
All right.
Do you
Well-
use I almost said shooty things, guns in this game?
There can be guns in the game.
There
Oh,
can be
okay.
guns.
So you can go pew pew pew.
Pew, pew.
So you're at
But you
10
don't.
questions
But
right
you
now.
don't have to, though. Theoretically, you said.
So to buy you guys time, and we're at the halfway point, 10 questions. Again, this is science fiction-y, is not action adventure. It's not an RPG. Guns can be involved. It is not a Nintendo exclusive. Therefore, by assumption, it's multi-platform, released after 2001.
Ooh. We should probably narrow down like what platform it debuted on, like what
Well, the thing
generation it debuted on.
I'm stuck on the genre. I think I kind of know what it is now, based on the first two questions.
Okay.
Well, if you nail
either-
down the genre, yeah.
It's either a sports game, a fighting game, or a racing
Well,
game.
well, if you said there's possibility of guns in
Yep,
this?
absolutely.
Is it my turn to ask?
Yes.
Is
Yes.
this a shooting game?
As a genre, it can be considered as a shooter.
Okay, a shooter,
Shooter.
like a old British chap just drinking it. I like to play shooter games. It was very bad. I'm sorry.
LeRon, you've been quiet.
I know,
Yeah,
LeRon.
because
This is what happens during-
LeRon's like, if
rattling
it's
around
not-
my head.
If it's not
Trivial
Monster Hunter on
Tastemaker
Switch, I don't know what it is.
Consumes you.
Well, I mean, it's not an RPG, and technically, Monster Hunter is an action RPG game.
It's not Monster Hunter, LeRon.
Yeah, and Monster Hunter is more steampunk than sci-fi.
Ooh, I have a question.
Okay.
When it
That's what we're-
released, was this how do I want to phrase this? Because I want to know if it's like a free-to-play game or like a smaller game or like a full AAA game. Is this considered a AAA game? Like
I would say no, it is not a AAA game.
Ooh, okay, great. That
So I don't
eliminates,
know,
like-
Dan. It's opposite of AAA in my mind is indie. It might be something.
Single A.
That's a podcast reference.
Here we go.
My
Here we
least
go.
favorite label. It's got to be made by developers and published, but whatever. All right. Well, that actually gave me an insight that I didn't realize might have been very relevant until just a moment ago. So now I have a very short list of games to go through compared to how many there are in the world.
Hmm.
I'm not going to be able to dig out any particular. All right. Is it my turn?
No, it's
It's
LeRon.
my turn. It's my turn. It's my
Okay.
turn.
I just wanted to make sure. I don't want to.
I've been stalling honestly because like
Yeah,
I'm
because he
at
just
a
wants to
loss.
swoop in with the W at the end.
I'm at a loss right now. Okay, so
I wonder
Okay.
if we're focusing too much on the Switch aspect.
I
Often
think
happens.
you're the one focusing on the Switch aspect.
You know what? I'm
No,
sorry
no,
that
no,
I
no,
like to
I'm
play
kinda-
games where
I'm
I like
kinda
to
in
play.
I'm kind of in the wheelhouse of that too because like the Switch has gotten a lot of ports. The Switch has gotten a lot of fucking. It's got ports that I feel like should not be on the system, but hey, here we are.
That's true. I'm just
Like
saying
the
because it
Outer
has so many
Worlds.
ports, that would just be really difficult to narrow down a game.
Mhm.
Hmm.
It's on Switch, released after 01.
Although, fun fact, I did play it on the Switch.
Not exclusive.
She's yelling at me about thinking about the Switch, and she's the one sitting here playing it.
But I'm just saying that's not going to help you find the answer. That's all.
All I gotta do is look at your recent reviews, and I could probably figure it out.
Uh,
Well, while people are thinking about asking questions, Dan, is that a Scooby-Doo plushie behind you?
No, this is Kevin.
Oh my god.
Overcooked.
Scooby-Doo? In what world does that look like Scooby-Doo?
It looks like
far
Scooby.
away,
No,
okay?
it's got the
Like there's no spots. There's no
Oh.
spots.
It's so weird. This is like a white collar, but I'm seeing clearly that it looks green on the screen here.
Yeah, it looks green to us.
But like,
Oh, it looks blue to me.
Well,
like a
yeah, but
white
teal.
Uh-oh, we
Like
have some
teal.
color conversation.
it looks teal.
Hmm.
I see it, so I'm like really freaked out. It's Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin!
Okay, hero character. Is a hero character a female?
I would say no, because I don't think there really is a gender tied down to the playable character.
So is androgynous.
So that's why it's kind of like a yes and no. It's like, well, if you want to be if you, in your mind you think you're a female, then that's fine. But the game does not designate you as a female.
Is this one of those like what do you call them? Those, I almost said graphic novels. That's not right. The visual.
Basically the walking sims, basically.
No,
No.
I said visual, like a visual novel-ish type game.
Like Wolf Among Us, like those games.
Well, no, I was thinking more like Danganronpa. But
Oh,
It is not a visual novel.
We already got a genre.
Oh, it could be like one of those Phoenix Wright games.
I don't know what I just heard outside my door, but it was.
Hopefully, it's not a scary noise.
I think it was my neighbor who was hanging out. I think she was just trying to mess with me.
Just trying to distract you. She goes,
Yeah, she
you're a
knows
trivial
it's-
tastemaker.
She knows it's big deal going on right now.
Kind of a big deal.
It's kind of a big deal.
so my question didn't narrow down shit.
No, it did
basically.
not. Thanks for your help, LeRon.
Yeah, I tried. I
This
tried.
time you were thinking of a question. That's the question.
Well, I mean, in the way my mind works, it would help me like determine like the name of the title. Like, is it a male character or a female character? Because isn't there wait,
You might be something there with a walking sim though.
It's a human-ish character.
What walking sims are on there that it doesn't really specify? I know in Firewatch you play as a man.
Oh, okay.
But okay, so what walking sims are on the Switch?
Well, remember, it's a human-ish character, so it's not specifically human.
I'm not denying that it's a human, and once we get to the game, you'll understand why I struggle with it. But I would still be like, well, in the end of it, my interpretation would have been we were a human.
What if it's like something like like Dead Cells or Hades, where you're like Hades.
You
you're
could
like
ask these questions.
Huh?
You could pick one. That could be a question. You could just straight up ask.
No, I'm trying to talk it over with you guys so we don't waste a question.
Yeah, for real. Like we're running low.
The winner.
Is this a roguelike?
Mm-mm.
Gross.
Gross.
I don't know.
It disgusts me. It needs to be a shooter. I won't enjoy it. I'm really trying to make that joke land.
It'll land sometime. Keep going.
Is it my turn? I can't.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Just
make
go.
it.
If you got a question, just go.
Yeah.
I'm trying to respect the format, but you
You're
guys
so
like to.
polite.
There's no
No,
format.
there's no format.
All right. Okay. My brain just stopped. Is this a game? Is it ported to the Switch? That's a
Yes.
question. Okay. That helps.
So
It's
it
a
is.
port to the Switch.
So it is
So
a port.
okay. That's a big thing, I think, because
That is a big thing.
although it just made my brain.
I have no idea where we're going with this anymore.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay,
Come on,
so
guys.
hold on.
Science fiction, shooty. What other? Again, past 2001.
I want this to be how you sell the game in the
Has
future.
this-
like
Shooty.
shooty science fiction.
It's a
Kind of
port.
person.
Was this
All right,
game
is this-
released after 2015?
Yes.
January 1st, 2015.
Oh.
Okay, so it's a relatively recent game. Okay, thank you. 22 years is an awful long time to narrow down a game.
Well, Mark
Is
says
this game part of a franchise? Is it a long-running series?
It's not a long-running series.
Oh,
Okay.
So it's a one-off. Okay.
wow.
Oh,
Those are good questions.
a one-off Port to the Switch.
For those that, who are
Shooty.
listening and playing along, if you guys have listened to Dinosaur Machines, you might have heard of this game.
Oh, no.
That's
So-
kind of
Oh no!
Yeah, this is why I'm like,
Oh,
I'll probably
no.
get kicked off the podcast next time I go on for not getting it.
I wonder.
Can you
Yeah.
shoot?
One of the
Can you shoot the
143
animals in
games.
Animal Crossing?
With a mod, sure.
I don't know.
Not a franchise.
They did that
Is
with
it-
Pokemon, didn't they? Before
Yeah.
it got pulled down. Wow.
That got snacked
Is it
down
port?
fast.
Sci-fi shooter after 2015.
Oh,
It's a one-off.
Right? Is it a 2D game?
oh!
2D.
You looking through
No.
my catalog, sir?
It's not 2D.
Toad's
Aw.
looking through my catalog.
Are
This
you?
man's-
I
You're
was.
not allowed to cheat.
I'm not cheating. I just was like thinking. Okay,
what was
so-
your answer? I'm sorry.
I'm not cheating. I was on a website looking at news stuff to right after we're done recording, and a pop-up for the Cuphead show on Netflix popped up, and I thought,
Did you forget?
not a
Did you forget?
Nintendo game ported to the Switch. I thought Cuphead was an easy answer, but she said it's not
Cuphead
2D.
science fiction?
So, yeah,
Cuphead's not science-
they're
It's definitely fiction, for sure.
Yeah, Cuphead's not science fiction.
I don't know.
What?
I forgot about
missed
the
that.
science fiction part. Okay,
I
so
completely missed the 2D answer.
Oh,
game.
2D. Sorry, it is not.
It's not 2D.
Okay,
It's not 2D.
cool.
ah,
Also huge. See? I was trying to.
All
we both got lost
You
in
guys
the
are at
excitement.
question
We've got
19.
three-
Do you guys want
No.
a major hint?
no.
No, if we fail, we fail. No.
Is it?
No, this is my failure if we fail, because I've played this game and talked about it at length.
Apparently.
Is it isometric?
No.
Okay.
All right.
It's like
Well,
a
then now we have to guess.
It's
We are
fully
in the
3D,
third
shooty,
dimension.
sci-fi, sometimes shooty, sometimes not.
I swear.
I'll say this just to get further. So its genre is a first-person shooter.
Okay.
You can use shooty, but other weapons are allowed.
Is it like super hot? Is that
Ah!
Good. I would not have gotten that.
Ding, ding,
Good
ding,
job,
ding.
Corey.
I've
Wow.
never played super hot in my life.
I've never played it either. I would have
Great
never
game.
thought about
But
it.
the way
I
she's talking
love that
about
game.
not like technically it's a first-person shooter, but you can use other things beside guns, and I know that game has a big puzzle element to it.
And so, but do you see why I struggle with the human? Like you're a human, but everyone in there is like crystal. So
You're
you're not
just
like
you. Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
right? And the
You're
reason why I say
you of
yes,
this-
you're human,
yeah.
because at
Well,
the end, spoilers for a 2016 game is you kill yourself, and you see yourself, and you're a human crystal-y thing.
Yeah, but isn't the
Yeah.
whole thing? Doesn't the whole thing take place in VR? Isn't that the whole thing?
That was what made it popular. VR was like what made Super Hot like really take off, but
Well, in the game, you're a character playing
yeah.
a VR game, but it's also
Yeah,
the
that's
game
what I
is
mean.
available as VR.
That's what I meant. Is like, aren't you a person in a VR headset in the entire game?
there it is, episode 94.
Woo!
Staring me in the face. I wrote this description of the episode of the game that I could not guess.
I'm
Whoa.
waiting for the text message from my wife that says you're being too loud. Shut up.
I think I'm due for that, but maybe I think no, we're still good.
All right. Well, unfortunately, there is no prize, but you do get bragging rights for the episode.
Yeah, and this is immortalized now, so when Mark and Dave listen to this, they'll just be disappointed in me,
Ooh.
which is fine. I'm used to that reaction from them.
I
They
almost
can
said
deal with it.
I almost said Portal.
That would have gotten you close, though.
Yeah,
Really good guess.
that was my first guess. I was like, no, because that game is all about the gun, even though it's not technically a gun.
Now I want to go play Super Hot. But anyway, thank you guys for playing.
Thank you for bringing the Tastemaker worldwide. It's on tour.
Yeah, and if you guys like trivia games and other awesome things with all video games, I'm sounding very repetitive, but listen to Dinosaur Machines. Free plug. There you go.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And people should listen to Boss Rush.
Ooh. Ringing endorsement.
Especially
you don't have
the-
to. It's fine.
the nightclub mode. I don't know what you dark
Nightclub mode. After dark.
after dark.
Nightclub mode. That
Word.
shit.
Wear those glasses, Corey.
Oh,
Put 'em on.
I have them. They're right here. I keep them by me at all times.
Tell me there with the
nightclub.
Oh, dude.
I also have my chain for you, Stephanie. It's right here.
Working.
You're like a hoodie ducked to disrespect. Oh, not anymore. It changed.
Yeah.
Now it's a different mood.
It says networking.
Get it?
They got these from work. These are work gifts.
What do they say? You go, little rock star.
Oh man, that was fun. That was a fun trip.
Yeah.
I'm doing it again in like 3 weeks. So
Nice.
Trips? Oh, I don't.
I'm
know what that
concerned. I'm going to Vegas. So
Ooh.
I've been there twice. One time, normal Vegas trip. Second time, visited friends. Did not touch the strip at all. I was just like, I want to go see the Hoover Dam. It's way more fun.
I've never been. So it should be fun.
Go see the Hoover Dam while you're there.
Yes, it is very cool. Yeah.
All right. Well, now what do we do? Are you staying for the After Dark recording?
I don't know if I can. What time does it start? I would come back, like, if you ever do it on like a Friday night, that'd be easier to swing. But my wife goes to bed like around like now, and I want to like be able to hang for an After Dark. I would be like, hey guys, so like boobs and butts and peepees, haha. Like, you know, I don't want to. I want to be able to really dig into it, you know.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I kind of, that's why I was like, let's start with just Boss Rush Pod, because I know it's a weekday night. But yeah, if we ever, because we do, I would say, right, we're open to recording other nights for After Dark at least. So if it's ever like a weekend night, like a Friday night or Saturday night, we'll let you know. So
Yeah, that'd
we'd
be
love
fun.
to have you. We'd love to have you back just in general.
You should
Yeah,
just
this
come
is
back
fun.
to
Thank you guys for
anything.
having me. Yeah, I mean, we can talk about the next big Nintendo Direct or something when they tell you how good Kirby's going to be.
You know what? So, wait, what's the date next week? Not next week, but the week after.
Well,
You should come on Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast, and we can talk about Destiny.
we have a Destiny podcast.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys have a lot of podcasts.
So, because my co-host is going to be out of town, and I'm looking for people to talk about Destiny with for like an hour.
I'll let you know if anybody comes to mind.
Great. About it, every other answer I got.
No,
Anyways.
that would be cool. Yeah.
But yeah, we'd love to have you back at some time, and put in a good word with Mark and Dan.
Yeah.
I mean, you're Dan. Mark
I
and
am
Dan.
Dan. Most times I am. I'll have.
For yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I try to, but I'll see if we can cycle in the whole cast.
We would love that. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Stephanie's so cheerful today. This is hilarious.
I had fun.
Funny.
So, like, you afraid that if I bounce, she's like, so anyway, now I hate you guys again.
Yeah, next week she's gonna be like,
I'm depressed.
disappointment. Sorry,
So
Stephanie,
you
you
guys
wouldn't be
go,
the
like,
first
right
woman to
into-
tell me that. So, anyways, let's get out of here.
Sorry, Dan. What?
Do you guys go right into
Yeah.
night mode?
Yeah.
Oh, so I would have to see myself out. That's awkward.
No, what we usually do behind the scenes,
Okay.
everybody. We wrap this show, we stop the stream, and then we record after dark.
Got it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
mean to mislead. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. I was just making sure I was still making sense because I was like, all right, bye.
Get out.
Click.
Yeah, get the book.
Yeah.
Well, Dan, thanks for joining us tonight. You want to tell everybody real quick about Dinosaur Machines, real quick again, just so they can find you.
You can find Dinosaur Machines on Spotify. We're on Anchor, but whatever. Anywhere podcasts are heard. And you can find me on youtube.com/Danomak, where I'm just talking a lot about video games to no one but you, the listener. Yeah, those are the two major things that I do with my time.
Awesome. Well, thanks
Thank
for
you
coming on. Stephanie, thank you for finding him. Appreciate you.
Yes.
I'll be happy to come back on, and I'll see if I can. I'll tell Ron about your passion for Monster Hunter, LeRon.
Oh yeah, thank you.
I feel like you guys need to unite in some way. So
Well,
I'd
LeRon,
love to talk to him too, because he's an artist, right? I used to draw comics, not professionally, but it's just a long lost love of mine.
okay, I will definitely
Stephanie.
let Ron know to listen to you guys.
What?
we
what is
need
this?
that is new information to me, so we need to talk about that
Okay.
after this.
I was like,
That was a good story arc completion
Okay.
there.
Yeah, no. Anyway,
I picked up on it. All right.
Go follow Dinosaur Machines. Go follow Dan on his YouTube channel. And I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening to the Boss Rush podcast. You can find us live on Twitch every Wednesday night. You can find us on Monday mornings on your podcast service of choice. Remember, you can get the show on Fridays, as well as 2-week early access to After Dark and Standard Definition on our Patreon for just $1. $1 gets you all that. You can follow us on Twitter at Boss Rush Network. LeRon, where can we find you?
You can find me on social media at Exodus803, EXODUS803. I always spell that out because I know someone's going to screw it up somewhere somehow and they won't be able to find me. And, you know, I want the attention. I like it. Yeah, but that's my, you can find me on Twitch and Instagram with that. You can also find me on my YouTube and my Twitch channels under that same moniker. That's also my PSN gamer tag as well as my Steam ID. And for you guys that want to reach out and touch me on Xbox Live, that's all. Just put a 0 in front of the 803 and you got it.
You hear that? If you want to reach out and touch LeRon.
Yeah, everybody reach out and touch
song
him.
reference.
Don't forget Tuesday nights, Crossroads, the PlayStation podcast. Actually, we're probably just going to drop the PlayStation podcast part or just call this the Crossroads podcast. But yeah, Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/Exodus803. And I am the lead host for Boss Rush After Dark. So yeah, that's that.
Stephanie, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Klimov, KLIMOV_author. Twitter is usually my gaming, artsy stuff. Instagram is usually just pictures of food. You can find me here every Wednesday night, but also on After Dark and on the classic animated Disney Standard Definition. I don't know why I have trouble with the order of those words. And lastly, you might find some articles of mine occasionally on the Boss Rush website. In fact, I will be pulling the trigger on the Aztec Forgotten Gods game review as soon as I am done podcasting tonight. The game releases tomorrow or whenever people hear this, March 10th. So keep an eye out for that game review.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Sweet. I'll read it.
You can find me at I am Corey in HD on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me co-hosting Nintendo Pow Block. You can find me on most of Standard Definition. You can also find my Destiny podcast, Tower Casuals, if you would like to do that as well. Please like, subscribe, share, rate, and review wherever you listen to this podcast, especially a 5-star on iTunes or Spotify would be great. And check out our website, bossrush.net. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening. And until next time, we love you. Goodbye.
Good night.
Take care.